Hey YouTube, my name is Roland and welcome to Learning Self-Reliance. I've got a pretty cool bag here. This is a bag I made for my sister. She's been talking about how she'd like a bug-out bag or a 72-hour kit for quite some time, so she's graduating here pretty soon, so I thought I'd get this for her as a graduation present. So overall this costs a little less than $200, so a little expensive to just start right off with, and I would say if you're going to start off, don't start off with something completely like this unless you've got spare money. But if you're just starting off and you don't have a ton of money, get a few of the items in here. Especially you can see videos by Dave Canterbury. I think you'll find that this pack is pretty close to things that he describes. I definitely love his theories and the way that he does things, and so you'll find a lot of his ideas and things in this pack. So I'll leave a link to him down below. But this is the pack, the sub $200 pack that I got for my sister. And first we'll start off with the pack. It's black, not too heavy, just a few pounds. And this looks like it's got kind of molly on it, but it's not molly. It's just kind of a webbing on the outside, so she can still strap some stuff to it. Put some other random things on here. On the outside, I put her knife. This is a bushcraft knife by Mora. It is their, sorry, this is kind of sticking. It's their stainless steel knife. Holds on really well, so it's not going to come sliding off. These knives are made in Sweden. This is a pretty decent little knife. I haven't used it all that much. I do know that it throws sparks off a ferro rod if you use the back of it. It is carbon steel, so it's not stainless, so it could rust a bit more than stainless would. But that extra strength is nice to have. So that's the first and probably most important thing you're going to get in a pack is your knife. So this is hopefully a decent knife for her, and hopefully, this is again to start her off. She's hasn't done really much bushcraft stuff, but she sounds like she's a little interested in that. So I got this for her to learn with. So there's her knife. We'll start off with the front pocket here. I've got a map, is the first thing I got for her, just a paper map. And then I have a USB cable with a headlamp. This is the Black Diamond Revolt. Sorry, let me just put this back together. This is her headlamp. Pretty decent brightness. There's the two LEDs on the sides. There's the main LED. And then it can also do red, which is pretty important for nighttime stuff. And it's called the Revolt because it recharges using a micro USB cable. So it came with this guy. You can just plug this into any standard any standard USB, and it will charge, which is awesome, very important. So this just uses rechargeable nickel batteries in here. I do find that taking it apart is a little kind of funky. You open it from the bottom, and then it kind of holds on using these little thin plastic things, which is a little finicky, a little scary that that'll break. But it came with its own rechargeable batteries, and it also, these are AAAs. It also came with some just alkaline AAAs. So it can do both of those. So if you can't recharge it for some reason, you can just always use some AAAs and run it. So yeah, it is a little finicky to get it back together. There we go. That's her headlamp. I got her a longer ferro rod. This was, I think, 15 bucks for a pair of these. So pretty good deal when it comes to ferro rod, and it's like a lot longer, so it's a bit easier to handle, especially if you're new. And I left the steel striker on here, even though you don't really need that because you got your knife, but I'm going to leave it on here so she can learn to use this before she uses something dangerous like a knife to use this with, to practice this with. And then I got her a compass. This is just a nothing fancy, simple compass, a map style compass, not a military style. I do like that you can see through this and still use it to navigate. It's got a little, you can move the dog around here and make sure you're still on point. Nothing super special there. Got this diamond rod. You probably recognize this from my vintage drill video. So this is the diamond rod. It's got a flat side curved with a fish hook line through it, and then a kind of more tapered point. So put this in her pack for her. And I've got some of these Harbor Freight. This is the smaller size, so I don't think it will quite fit my hands. But it's the, I believe it's 9mm, not 7mm, 9mm thick gloves. So these are some stronger gloves that she can use. But then I've also got some thinner, like 3mm gloves as well that she can use. Alright, I decided to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see the gear more specifically. I've got this fish lip spreader, which is pretty cool when it works with the clean canteen. Again, this is an idea straight from Dave Canterbury, which I think is a genius idea. Got this 40-ounce clean canteen here, and you can put this underneath here like that, and it will hold this up, so you can suspend this over a fire using a stick or something like that, and keep this out of there, but still get it up in the flames where it's hotter. So this is a 40-ounce steel canteen so that she can boil water with it and have that longer term source of water. On the top here I've got some of her manuals, which is mostly just so she can get familiar with it for the first time. And then after that it's Tinder, so I'm going to leave that in there. I've got a 100-foot hank of paracord here. This is just 550 paracord. It's got a little, this little spool here has a spot for a lighter so that you can use to melt the paracord when you cut it. So it's just kind of a self-contained unit. It's got these little hooks on here so that you can keep the paracord up. It's got a little razor blade embedded in it, which is kind of useful for slicing it, but I got one of these and I found that there's a different method that I liked for storing my paracord or cordage in predefined lengths. So I'll put that in another video, you guys can see that. But so this is just for her to start off with. Then I've got a foldable handsaw. So I talked about this Bugout Laplander in my other video with the Boreal 21 folding bow saw by Bugout Canyon. Sorry, it's kind of a long title, but this is just a simple and fairly safe way of cutting wood. You know, she might be able to baton with this, but I didn't want her to ruin her knife because this isn't a full tang knife, so I wasn't completely certain if it would work very well for batoning, even though I've seen quite a few people do that. But so I got her this to make it easier for her to cut down larger things than what she could just cut by hand. I put in this space blanket / tarp, which is an awesome combination, and I've used these quite a bit. I think they're like 7 foot by 6 foot, so they're not huge. For somebody like me, it barely fits. I'm over 6 foot, so it's kind of a struggle to fit in these kind of things, but she should be alright with this. She's not quite as tall as I am. I put in this cheap but effective little kind of multi-tool here. I got this just super cheap from 7-Eleven. This was like supposed to be a Christmas present, so after Christmas they had this weird sale at the 7-Eleven over here, and it just had this little multi-tool for, I think it was like $3 or something, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty good deal for something like that. So anyways, this is mostly for grabbing the edge of the bottle, pulling it out of the fire, manipulating hot things and things like that. It's not the best tool, but it does have a backup flashlight and a knife and a screwdriver and things like that. So not the best, but it's a backup, and it's not intended for any serious use like you'd have a Leatherman for. I put in a couple of these 3mm, I think it's 3mm trash bags. So this is made by, I think it's a Gorilla. So the people who make Gorilla Tape make these trash bags as well, but these are really thick, kind of construction grade trash bag. So this is a kind of an extra, a supplementary cover instead of just her tarp here. So I wanted to make sure that she had a little bit of extra for that, so you could use it as like a poncho or something like that. Then I have a bandana here, just a simple cotton bandana, nothing fancy, just enough to provide some cover for her head or filter some water through it or something like that. But that's it. Nothing super crazy. Just some of the basics, and this is all brand new. So if you're just starting off, you can definitely watch for sales and find some things cheaper, or go to flea markets or something like that, find some random things that way and save yourself a ton of money instead of buying this all brand new like I did. But I was really excited for her to graduate, and so I wanted to get her a graduation present. But yeah, that's her pack. Alright, YouTube, well, that's it. This is the bag that I made for my sister, and I've had a lot of fun putting it together, and I'm excited to give it to her as a graduation present. You know, again, this is just kind of a starter bag. I'm sure if she really starts to enjoy and love bushcraft like I do, she will change this around to what she likes, and that's great. So this is just something to get her started with, and make sure she's comfortable when she's doing this instead of just using some crappy gear. But anyways, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.